It's a very important year for the UK-India partnership. An FTA has been signed and much more is on the anvil. Taking this partnership forward has been the effort of both the governments of the United Kingdom and the government of India. And the British Prime Minister is also expected to be in Mumbai. Joining me now is Howard Dawber, Deputy Mayor of London for Business, Order of the British Empire. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here in Mumbai. This has been an important year for the UK-India partnership. We've had the FTA, but it's also been a year of global uncertainties. What do you think is, of course, going forward? What do you expect in the coming year? And how is this relationship between the UK and India likely to strengthen in a year full of uncertainties?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me on. Look, the relationship between UK and India, as we all know, goes back for many, many centuries, and particularly over the last 20, 30 years has been very strong in the face of an increasingly divided and complicated world. And in these times of global uncertainties and geopolitical change, that strong relationship has never been more important, which is why that free trade agreement signed between our two governments has provided a platform for real future economic growth and collaboration. And I'm very pleased that my friend Sir Keir Starmer will be here later this week here in Mumbai. This is really an opportunity for growing new businesses, new collaborations, and for UK and India to work together to sell our great products and services to the world.
Both Mumbai and London are financial centers, and both have faced similar challenges when it comes to ease of living, when it comes to drivers of growth for these cities. Also, there are other challenges. In fact, India's startup ecosystem is globally recognized and applauded. Can you tell us how all of this works in modern times when there are so many different mechanisms of fundings, especially when it comes to startup, because that's one area where the partnership can really flourish?
Yeah, well, I think we're in a global competition here. London is probably the third best place in the world to raise finance for business. We are the venture capital capital of Europe, but we are behind our friends in Silicon Valley and in New York, and we want to make up that gap to make sure that our amazing startup and scale-up businesses, which are among the most exciting on the planet, get the best possible opportunity to raise money and stay in London and to grow out of London. So as part of that, working with India, where there's so much collaboration already, Indian money coming into the UK, British money coming into India, and to have a pooled resource to fund those startups so that we can compete on a global scale together, that's going to be the real win here between our two countries. If we can bring the Indian venture capital, the Indian funders, together with British funders and look at the Indian scale-up and UK scale-up systems as one market, then we're really going to be in a good position.
And sir, if I can ask you, which sectors in India's startup landscape do you find most promising? What are some of the futuristic sectors that, in your opinion, could be the drivers of growth and future partnerships as well?
Well, obviously there are some fantastic businesses in India already working very successfully using AI in the enterprise space, offering AI services to customers globally as part of their digital and tech-based service offer. I think health and life sciences is a real area of potential close collaboration. India's obviously got a massive market, it's got a massive pharmaceutical manufacturing base, and also it's got some phenomenal IP. UK, probably the best place in the world to do drug testing, drug evaluation, because of the really complicated and diverse population. For example, in London, we've probably got the most diverse population on the planet, but we've also got really good deep data there to work with. And we've got some amazing startups and scale-ups in that sector too, from genomics through to new drug development. It's a very exciting sector for us. So I think the tech space, Fintech, and I'm obviously here speaking at Global Fintech Fest as well this week. That's a huge sector. Fintech, tech, and AI, and health and life sciences. That's where I put my money.
How is London's ecosystem, which is London and Partners, how has that given access to Indian startups to UK markets, and also not just UK but across across Europe and North America?
Well, London Partners, I've got the honour of being the chair of London Partners in my job as being Deputy Mayor of London. London Partners offers really a unique opportunity for businesses from all over the world to have a foot in London. We've got a phenomenal team here based in India, full-time in India. And then when Indian businesses come to UK, when you start up in London, the second you step off the plane and you set up your London business, you're a London business. We treat you the same as other London businesses. So we work with you. If you want to globalize, you want to trade out of London, we work with you exactly the same as if you're a London business. So we're very, very open, welcoming, transparent, and straight with businesses moving into the UK.
And so, how can businesses across Mumbai and London collaborate, especially in terms of addressing challenges like, urban floods, sea levels, greenhouse emissions? These are challenges that the world needs to come together, and partnership in these sectors of fighting these challenges would be important. So, where do you see these sectors and the partnership in these sectors, going forward from here on?
Well, there's two levels there. One is obviously city to city. I mean, Mumbai, London have been trading with each other for centuries, and that's a really, really strong bond from the city to the city. So public governments working together, that's part of that. But also, we've got some amazing businesses in this space, both in London and in India. In fact, 25% of our foreign direct investment last year was in the sustainability space that you're talking about, in terms of tackling climate change, the impacts of climate change, looking at renewable power, energy conservation, new materials, recycling. How can we develop the cities we want to see in the future, which will be growing, bigger, actually more power hungry cities because of all the technology. We're going to need more power, but how can we do that in a way that also reduces the impact on the environment and turns around some of those things that we're seeing that are negative about the impacts of climate change? Our mayor has, for example, really pushed the boat out in terms of reducing emissions from vehicles. We brought in an ultra low emission zone across London, which was very controversial. A lot of people said, you shouldn't do it. But what we've done is, they said it would take us 200 years to get our emissions in London down below legal levels of the particulates in the air. We've managed to do that in 9 years by encouraging people to use less polluting vehicles, to transition to electric. We've done it ourselves. All our buses are going to be electric by 2030. And that's a model for other cities to follow. And I know through global forums like the C40 cities, we and Indian cities, and there are some great examples of what Mumbai and other cities in India have done, working together can share these challenges and share some of the solutions. So, and there's money in this. This is a real business opportunity as well. So we're doing good, but making money at the same time.
And I'd just like to elaborate a little bit more on that, because you mentioned electric buses. That's something that Mumbai is working on too. In fact, turning the entire fleet into electric buses. But Mumbai and London face similar challenges in terms of what you talked about, pollution, in terms of mitigating the consequences of climate change. Rainfall patterns are changing, urban flooding. You've been in Mumbai, and how do you see Mumbai functioning, and how do you see London functioning, and where do you think the two can come together and work on this perhaps in a more collaborative way?
Well, I would say that, a lot of people would look at Mumbai and London and say there are a lot of superficial differences in culture and how the cities work. But I would say fundamentally, there's a lot of similarities. It's a global city, an international city, a city with a lot of water. London is obviously on the Thames, and it wasn't that long ago that the Thames flooded over its barriers. Only 50 years ago, we've got the Thames barrier. We need another barrier in London, because of the impact of rising sea levels. So these are issues that face us on a daily basis. We've just completed a massive construction, which is the new Thames Tideway sewer project, which is stopping sewage being dumped into the River Thames and provides a massive bypass for the sewage system in London. A huge undertaking. So there are lots of things we can work on together and share experience, I think. And the really exciting thing is some of the businesses coming up with solutions here are small businesses coming out of universities, young people with bright ideas where they want to do good and deliver something positive for the planet. And yeah, there's those businesses are going to be some of the unicorns, some of the big businesses of the future. So I think as long as we stick to the understanding the problem and we don't pretend the problem's going to go away, because it isn't, and you can say for the short term, oh, let's just ignore it and pretend it's not happening, and there are people around the world who are in that space. No, stick to the science, understand the science, and that will drive innovation. And it is driving innovation, both in London and here in Mumbai, and it's driving business too.
And one of the things I think that perhaps all of this is lovely, and the collaborative part can really take off. And the Mayor of London launched this campaign, London is Open, and that is something that really welcomed a lot of Indian businesses, students to the UK, to London specifically. But in the light of recent events, protests against immigrants, that has kind of left a lot of people worried, and they have concerns about whether London is really open and whether the UK is really open. How would you address those concerns?
Well, I would say that the people have got legitimate concerns about immigration and how immigration affects them. But in London, the vast majority of citizens are supportive of our amazing, diverse and an international community, with people who not just come from over the world, but who for decades and for generations have made their life in London. We've got over 500,000 people of Indian origin or Indian family background in London. It's a massive part of our city. Obviously, our mayor is of Pakistani origin. My predecessor as deputy mayor was of Indian origin. In fact, I am 1/16 because my great-grandfather, my mum's grandfather, was born in Ahmednagar, just up the road from here. So I'm partly Maharashtri.
Wow.
London is absolutely open to the world, and the vast majority of people in London are very, very supportive and welcoming of people from all over. And our universities, with our 200,000 international students, the most international students of anywhere in the world, are absolutely very, very keen on having more students from India, because they bring not only the cultural diversity, but they bring their brain power, and 20% of them stay on to start businesses or to work in London, and that's hugely important for our city.
Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. Before I let you go, do you have a wish list for what you want to do in Mumbai?
Well, I want to see a bit of the city. I was last here quite a long time ago. I came 17 years ago, and I know I've already seen. There's a bridge that wasn't there before, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of the city and talking to a lot of businesses about how we can build on this free trade agreement and have real collaboration and some real big deals between London and Mumbai. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and hopefully some really good food as well, because I hear Mumbai is one of the best places in the world to eat. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, welcome to Mumbai, welcome to India, and hope this trip is a wonderful trip for you. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.